안녕하세요 여러분. Hello everybody. Welcome. 오신 거 환영합니다. Welcome. Today we're going to look at agony aunt letters. agony aunt 뭐냐면 어떤 사람이 문제 가지고 있고 가지고 있는데 상담하지 않고 그냥 신문한테 자기 문제에 대해서 편지를 쳤고 그리고 거기서 그 신문 회사에서 일하는 사람이 그 문제 읽고 어떻게 그 문제 해결할 수 있는지 알려주는 거예요. 그래서 이거는 agony aunt이라고 하는 거예요. agony aunt the agony aunt section in a newspaper. 그리고 이거 왜 공부하냐면 agony aunt 섹션에서 뭐 영어, 관영어 뭐 되게 우리 대화할 때 되게 자연스러운 많이 나오고 아무래도 뭐 뉴스 공부하는 것보다는 여러분한테 더 많이 도움이 될 것 같아요. 왜냐면 뉴스 공부하면 많이 진짜 형식적인 영어 많이 나오잖아요. 그리고 뭐 일상 대화할 때는 많이 뭐 나오지 않은 단어나 뭐 표현이 나오니까 아무래도 뭐 대본 뭐 영화 대본이나 드라마 대본이나 막 agony aunt letters로 공부하는 게 제일 효과적인 뭐 공부 방법인 것 같아요. 아무튼 시작해보겠습니다. One moment. Nope, that's not right. Aha, here we are. So, most agony aunt letters will start like this. Dear Colleen is the name of this agony aunt. 그래서 대부분 agony aunt letter는 이렇게 시작한 거예요. 그냥 뭐 일반적으로 그냥 편지가 이렇게 시작하죠. Dear George, Dear Tom 막 이렇게 시작한 거예요. The past few months in lockdown have confirmed to me that I'm fighting a losing battle when it comes to my marriage. 저는 이거 말하는 게 깜빡했어요. 주로 agony aunt letter 내용은 되게 뭐 gossip 같은 내용 많이 나오고 막 주로 개인 관계나 뭐 개인 문제 때문에 주로 애인이나 뭐 자기 가족 문제 많이 나와요. 약간 한국에서 비슷한 거 있더라고. 네이버 까먹었어요. 아무튼 gossip 좋아하시면 이렇게 공부하는 게 좋을 것 같아요. 모든 사람들이 gossip 좋아하죠. 뭐 제 생각은 그런데. Okay, anyway, the past few months. 저번 달 아니고 저번 몇 개월 동안 이렇게 된 거예요. The past few months in lockdown. This is kind of like a key word at the moment. Lockdown. Highlight it. 코로나 바이러스 때문에 영국 사람들이 자기 집에서 자기 집 떠나면 안 되고 막 계속 집에 있어야 되잖아요. 그래서 그 상황은 록다운이라고 하는 거예요. Gossip and rumor. I think they're the same. Gossip and rumor. I heard a rumor about you. Gossip. I heard some. 근데 you can say I heard a rumor about you, but you wouldn't say I heard a gossip about you. That would sound strange. I heard some gossip about you. There was some gossip. There's a rumor going around. There's some gossip going around. And also, in this context, 이 문맥상에서는, 이 상황에서는 gossip이라고 하는 거예요. Because why? Oh God. I think usually, when we talk about celebrity gossip, we don't really talk about celebrity rumors. gossip 어감은 뭔가 재밌게 어떤 그 사람이 재밌게 뭔가를 재밌게 얘기하고 그 사람 개인 생활에 대해서 재밌게 얘기하고 약간 좀 더 재밌는 느낌인 것 같아요. 루머보다는. So anyway, in this situation, I would say gossip. Because we usually talk about gossip in a fun way. Oh, hello, attendance check. Yes, good. It's good to see all the usual regulars are here. 영국 격증이 단골. The regulars. Good to see you. Anyway, so yes, a lockdown. Lots of English people can't leave their homes at the moment. They're locked down. They're in their homes. And this situation at the moment, because of the coronavirus, is known as lockdown. So in lockdown, the past few months in lockdown have confirmed to me that I'm fighting a losing battle when it comes to my marriage. I'm fighting a losing battle. What the hell are you going on about? Oh, sorry. Generally, or this sentence? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, anyway, so I'm fighting a losing battle means that even though you're trying hard to do something, you're unlikely to succeed. In fact, you're not going to succeed. 그래서 얼마나 열심히 노력해도 실패할 거예요. 그래서 나는 노력하고 있는데 내가 실패할 거라고 확실해요. 막 이런 뜻이에요. So I'm fighting a losing battle. 단골 학생. 단골 학생. Sorry, is that wrong? Perhaps it's wrong. 단골. Right. Well, anyway. Yeah, so I'm fighting a losing battle. So, for example, I tried to persuade Tom to come to Korea. 나는 톰한테 한국에 올 거라고 설득하려고 했는데, so I tried to persuade Tom to come to Korea, but I'm fighting a losing battle. 내가 얼마나 열심히 설득하려고 노력해도 톰이 절대 한국에 안 올 거예요. He's never going to come. No matter how many times I try and persuade him to come, right? It's not true. I think he will come. He will come to Korea at some point when the coronavirus is finished. So yeah, in this sentence, I'm fighting a losing battle when it comes to my marriage. So this person is really trying hard to keep her marriage going, keep her marriage continuing, but she knows she's going to fail. Right? Yeah. So my husband contributes literally nothing to our household. Okay, so let's unpack this sentence. My husband, obviously, you know what husband is, contributes literally nothing to our household. So like, 우리 집에서 아무것도 안 하고, 진짜 하나도 안 하고, 그냥 아무것도 안 하고, 막 돈 벌지 않고, 집안일 안 하고, 그냥 아무것도 안 하는 거예요. So he contributes literally nothing. He gives literally nothing. So contributes is like a formal word of saying to give. 그래서 contribute는 좀 더 형식적인 contribute은 give이라는 뜻인데 좀 더 형식적인 단어예요. Contributes literally nothing to our household. And let's just get rid of this. Literally is a word that's, I think, is used too much in England at the moment. It's used too much in the UK. It's constantly used, like literally. 저는 개인적으로 literally라는 단어 별로 안 좋아해요. 뭐 왜냐면 원래 뜻을 좀 바꿔서 완전 다른 뜻으로 바꾼 거예요. So now it's used to exaggerate something, to stress something. 그래서 이 문장에서도 그 husband이 아무것도 안 하는 걸 강조하는 거예요. 그런 역할을 하고 있어요. Literally 이 문장에서. So it's like a lot of people say, okay, let me just explain what it literally means. 그래서 literally 사전적인 뜻은 문자 그대로 아니면 사전적으로 그거 그 사전적인 뜻인데 I can't speak Korean at the moment. Anyway, so literally 사전적인 뜻은 문자 그대로. Yeah, you get the picture. So now it's used to stress something. 그래서 for example, I literally didn't get a single mark on my test. 나는 시험에서 0점이었어. 완전 0점이었어. 완전 0점. Like or a lot of people use it in this way as well. Like I literally died laughing. I literally died laughing. Yeah, to emphasize the sentence. Sorry, I'll just have a look at your comments. I think you understand what I'm talking about anyway. 넷플릭스만 보면서 과장하거나 강조할 때 right. 혹시 literally 대신 쓸 수 있는 비슷한 말이 있나요? We'll come to that in a moment. Emphasize the sentence, right. So, one way that people in England use this in a really strange way, in my opinion, is in the sentence, I literally died laughing. So we have this sentence, I died laughing. 뻥 터졌어. Right? So like, it was hilarious. It was so funny. 뻥 터졌어. I died laughing. But if you say, I literally died laughing, 나는 문자 끝으로 너무 많이 웃어서 죽었다. Like, that actually happened. 그거 실제로 됐어. 근데 그렇게 말하는 사람들은 진짜 그 의미로 말하는 거 아니고 막 그냥 얼마나 웃긴지 강조하려고 하는 거예요. Right, 웃겨 죽겠다. Right, that's exactly the expression I was going for. So they're saying exactly like I died whilst laughing. I literally died laughing. But really they're just using it to emphasize the sentence. But to me, because I don't use literally like that, I feel a bit uncomfortable using literally. So yeah, I literally froze. Like because it was so cold. 나는 실제로 얼어버렸다. Like that actually happened. 이해했어요? 이해했나? 제가 설명해주는 게 명확한지 아닌지 모르겠어요. 죄송해요. 저 가끔 반말 저는 어떨 때는 반말하고 어떨 때는 존댓말 쓰는 거예요. 그래서 그런 것 때문에 죄송합니다. Yeah, so I literally And this is what she's using it. That's how she's using it in this sentence. My husband contributes literally nothing to our household. And is there something similar to literally, I would say like my husband contributes absolutely nothing. Like that's the way that I personally, kind of exaggerate, emphasize the sentence. 80% 이해했어요. Yeah. So the reason, I'll just explain once more, the reason why it's strange for someone to say, to me anyway, but the reason why it's strange for someone to say, I literally died laughing, is because when they say I literally died laughing, it means that they actually died laughing. If they're using the original meaning of literally. 그래서 원래 뜻으로 literally died laughing이라고 하면 나는 실제로 죽었다. 너무 많이 웃어서. 근데 이제 현대인 아니 좀 어린 사람들은, 젊은 사람들은 좀 다르게 쓰게 된 거예요. 그래서 강조할 때 쓰는 거예요. 그래서 저 그 말을 쓸 때 좀 어구거리는 거예요. 좀 불편해요. Anyway, he hasn't worked for years, yet I'm still expected to run the home, do the housework, and look after our 4-year-old son. So she's complaining a lot. He hasn't worked for years. 일한 지 진짜 오래됐고. Yeah, I'm still expected to run the home. Like, she's in charge of the house. Like, she's doing everything. To run the home, like, yeah, she's the boss of the house essentially. 집의 보스다. 집의 보스예요. So she's still expected. 그 남편은 이 여자가 집안에서 모든 거 해야 된다고 기대하는 거예요. To do the housework, 집안일, and look after our 4-year-old son. To look after, 돌봐주다, I think. Yeah, it's cringeworthy to use the word literally. Absolutely가 훨씬 자연스러운 것 같아요. Yeah, I mean, well, I think probably nowadays you would hear literally more often than absolutely. Or completely. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, so he's made half-hearted attempts in the past to look for a job, but nothing is ever good enough for him. So he's made half-hearted attempts. Half-hearted. 그래서 열심히 노력하지 않은 거예요. Half-hearted. Like, I made a half-hearted attempt to learn Japanese. 나는 일본어, 저는 한 2년 전, 3년 전에 일본어 공부하기로 결정했는데 진짜 열심히 공부하지 않았고 막 되게 게으르게 했어요. 그냥 편하게. 그래서 아마 뭐 일주일에 한 번 아니면 2주에 한 번만 공부한 것 같아요. So it's like half-hearted attempt. Like you're not really trying. So yeah, so he's made to make a half-hearted attempt. I could make a half-hearted attempt to explain something to you. Like I'll explain something, I'll be like, I tried. I did my best. Yeah, 과거에는. So like he's made half-hearted attempts in the past to look for a job. So yeah, so he's looking for a job. He's not really looking for a job, but he looks like he's looking. He's kind of showing that he's looking, but really he's not trying. but nothing is ever good enough for him. So 일 구하려고 하는 척 했는데 모든 일이 얘랑 잘 어울리지 않아요. 얘한테 좋지 않아요. It's like there's no pleasing him. Okay, he seems to think he can just walk into a top level role, even though he's been out of the job market for years. So he can just walk into a top level role. Just walk into it. He thinks he can go into the office and get like a top job, the best job available, like one of the best jobs available. 그래서 그 회사에서 가장 좋은 일 중에 하나를 되게 쉽게 구할 수 있다고 생각하는 거예요. Even though he's been out of the job market for years. The job markets are like, yeah, just like the world of work. His parents are still bankrolling him and he's 38. To bankroll someone, this means just to like pay for everything. So it sounds like this guy is leeching off his parents. This is like a quite good expression, to leech off someone. 한국말로는 I think it's 빌붙이다? 부모님한테 빌붙이다? To leech off your parents or to leech off someone. So like you're not really working or trying and someone's just giving you money. Like you can just expect money from someone. So yeah, and that's what's happening here. They're bankrolling him, giving him lots of money. And he's 38, quite old, to do that kind of thing. I'm not saying 38 is an old age. Anyway, in my opinion, he also has an unhealthy attachment to his mum and dad, especially his mum, who he talks to all the time. So in my opinion, 내 의견으로는, he also has an unhealthy attachment. It's like something a bit strange about his attachment. Like a very unusual attachment. So like 자기 엄마한테 좀 비정상적으로 붙이는 거예요. Like that, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, he's 빌붙다. Okay, good. Yeah, it's the same to live off someone. To live off your parents. To live off of someone. Yeah, that's exactly the same. Yes. 보시는 분들은 영어 엄청 잘하시네. Your English is brilliant. So anyway, in my opinion, yeah, so he also has an unhealthy attachment to his mum and dad, especially his mum, who he talks to all the time. 특히 엄마한테 좀 이상한 관계 가지고 있고, who he talks to all the time. 항상 얘기하는 거예요. He also pays her way more attention than he pays me. To pay attention, 관심 주다. Right? So 자기 아내보다 엄마한테 관심도 많이 주는 거래요. 죄송해요. 존댓말 해야죠. 죄송합니다. So he also pays her way more attention. To pay someone attention. 관심 주는 거예요. When are you going to pay me attention? A girlfriend might say to a boyfriend. Or a boyfriend might say to his girlfriend. Pay me some attention. And also, right, so there's that expression, 관종. 관심종자 in Korean. In English, we'd probably say like, okay, this is kind of a rude way to say 관심종자. 좀 무례한 표현인데, an attention whore. 죄송합니다. 좀 무례한 표현이니까 그냥 친구끼리만 쓰시면 돼요. attention whore. whore, 진짜 안 좋은 단어인데, 몸 파는 여자. So an attention whore. So you get the idea, right? So it's like a 관심종자, 관종. Sorry to interrupt, but who's Colleen? Oh, so Colleen is the agony aunt. So agony aunt은 뭐냐면 신문에서 일하는 사람인데 어떤 그 신문 읽는 사람이 문제 가지고 있으면 agony aunt한테 편지 쓰고 문제 뭐냐고 설명해주고, 그리고 이 agony aunt가 그 문제를 어떻게 해결하는지 해줄 수 있어요. I'm trying to think of a politer way of saying attention whore. There is one, but for some reason I always think of the ruder way to say something. 아마 좀 더 예의 바른 표현 있을걸요? 그런데 왠지 잘 모르겠는데 항상 더 무례한 표현 먼저 생각나요. 제 이름은 영국 역증이라서 그렇겠죠. An attention whore. Okay, I'll think about this. But there is definitely a better way of saying something. Okay, so what have we talked about? Okay, pays more attention than he pays me. Before lockdown, he was always at his parents' house and also stayed over all the time. So yeah, stayed all the time. I think that doesn't really need any explanation. It's like he's just playing at being a husband and a father, but he doesn't show any commitment. Okay, so he's just playing at being a husband and a father. 남편, 아버지 역할 하고 있는데 실제로 하지 않아요. He's just playing at being a husband and a father. I mean, you might say about me, I'm just playing at being a teacher. Like, I'm not really teaching anything. I'm just having this image of being a teacher, but I'm not actually teaching anything. Then I can say, I'm just playing at being a teacher, right? So, to just play at something. It's like he's just playing at being a husband and a father. But he doesn't show any commitment. commitment으로 어떤 사람한테 충성? loyalty? 충성인가? But in this context it means something different. Like, he's not committing himself to being the husband and the father. He's not really trying. He's not really trying to be the husband, the father. 그래서 또 막 진짜 남편이나 아버지 되려고 노력하지 않아요. 막 이런 뜻이. He's not showing any commitment to doing that. 헌신. Okay, right. Attention hog. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Attention hog. There's definitely another one, but I just can't think of what it is. It'll come to me. I said it'll come to me. That means like 그 생각을 떠오를 거예요. 막 나한테 올 거예요. 그 생각이 올 거예요. It'll come to me. I guess she wants a divorce. Yeah, probably. But it doesn't show any commitment. I wonder if he's depressed or just doesn't want to be with me. But it's hard to get a straight answer out of him. 그래서 우울한지 모르고 뭐 그럴 수도 있고 우울할 수도 있고 I wonder if he's depressed 뭐 우울할 수도 있다 우울할 수 있다고 생각하고 아니면 그냥 나랑 같이 있고 싶지 않아요. 나랑 계속 결혼한 상태로 유지하고 싶지 않아요. He doesn't want to be with me. But it's hard to get a straight answer out of him. 그 남편이 똑바로 대답하지 않아요. 똑바로 대답하지 않고. So like to get a straight answer out of someone, it's like yeah, 똑바로 대답하다. Like he's not answering straight. He never thinks about our future and has no ambition. Just drifting from day to day. Yeah, so he never thinks about our future. 우리 미래에 대해서 생각하지 않고 has no ambition. 야망 maybe. I think 야망 없대. Perhaps I'm wrong with my Korean, but if you know what ambition is, please leave a comment. Just drifting from day to day. So to drift, it's like okay. 운전할 때 when you drive and you're not accelerating, so you're not pushing, you're not actually putting any power into the car, right? You're just perhaps going along from the forces like gravity, for example, might be just pushing you along. 뭐 예를 들면 drifting. How can I explain this? Well, in this context anyway, it's like he's not he doesn't show any drive, you know? He's not going for it every day. He's just like going through the motions. 그래서 이 상황에서는 약간 뭐 열심히 살려고 하지 않고 약간 맨날 그냥 똑같은 행동하고 막 자동적으로 하는 거예요. 모든 거 그냥 자동적으로 하는 거예요. 막 생각하지 않고 막 약간 로봇처럼 drifting from day to day. But yeah, so as I said, if you're drifting and you're driving, it's like you're not. I don't know how to say this in Korean, but it's like when you're accelerating and you take your foot off the accelerator, and the car just moves without any power. I hope someone in the comments can explain that in Korean. He's taking everything she's done for him for granted. Yeah, good. That's a nice expression, to take something for granted. 보신 분들은 영어 엄청 잘하네요. 잘하시네요. Sorry. Yeah, to take something for granted. So like 기대한 거예요. 이게 like 너는 뭐 아무 노력 안 해도 모든 거 받을 거라고 기대하는 거예요. It's like, hi Sang-hyuk, good to see you again. Yeah. So it's like you don't appreciate the person. So if you're in a relationship and that person takes you for granted, it means like, I don't know if this makes sense in Korean, but to take something for granted, 감상하지 않아요? Like, yeah. 뭐 감사하지 않고, 뭐 예를 들면 어떤 아내가 자기 남편한테 맨날 요리해주고 맨날 뭐 모든 거 해주는데 남편이 고맙지 않고 그냥 그 행동이 그냥 당연하다고 생각한 거예요. That's like taking something for granted. He's taking his wife for granted, right? Okay, I think I explained that now. I hate the thought of giving up as we've only been married 5 years and have a child. But I want a grown-up for a partner, not a mummy's boy. Okay. Yeah, right. 당연하게 생각해요. Cool. So yeah, I hate the thought of giving up. To give up, 포기하다. So 포기할 거라고 생각하기 싫어요. Maybe. 뭐 포기하는 거라고 생각하기 싫어요. As we've only been married 5 years, and have a child, but I want a grown-up for a partner. Grown-up, like 성인, 어른. Partner. Yeah, partner. I guess it's the same in Korean. I think a lot of older people in the UK and America too will say partner instead of boyfriend or girlfriend, because I guess boyfriend and girlfriend has a younger connotation, like a younger feeling. 그래서 대부분 나이 좀 많은 영국 사람이나 미국 사람은 남자친구, 여자친구, boyfriend, girlfriend 말고 partner라고 할 것 같아요. 왜냐하면 boyfriend, girlfriend이라는 단어가 좀 더 젊은 느낌 가지고 있어요. boy, girl 뭐 그런 거 있잖아요. 그래서 결혼하지 않고 그냥 남자친구나 여자친구 있으면 partner라고 불러요. 주로 뭐 50살 때부터 40살 때부터 partner라고 하는 게 좀 더 흔한 것 같아요. So yeah, I want a grown-up. Right. 수업 자료가 남편 욕쟁이네요. Yeah. I want a grown-up for a partner. 나는 성인이랑 사귀고 싶다. 성인이랑 결혼하고 싶다. Not a mummy's boy. I think in Korean you say like mama boy, I think. Is that right? I think it's the same. 똑같은 건가? mummy's boy라는 말 한국말로 똑같죠? 막 어떤 남자가 자기 엄마랑 너무 가까이 있으면 너무 뭐 그런 가까운 관계 가지고 있고 그 자기 엄마한테 모든 게 받고 엄마한테 관심 너무 많이 받고 mama's boy라고 하죠. 근데 yeah. Should I tell him to stay at his mum's and not come back? Yeah. 네 엄마 집에 계속 있고 돌아오지 말할까? Shall I tell him that? What do you think, people? What do you think? Who's watching? mama boy. Okay. Yeah. What do you think? 어떻게 생각하세요? 이 사람에 대해서 자기 남편이랑 이혼해야 된다고 생각해요? 뭐 영어로 말해보세요. 이거 되게 좋은 영어 연습 기회예요. This is like a very good opportunity for you to practice your English. So perhaps you can write a response to this person. But anyway, yeah, so I recommend using this to study English if you want to learn some natural expressions to use in your like daily conversations. But make sure you're not using rude expressions. 그래서 자기 뭐 일상 대화 실력 향상시키고 싶다면 이런 거로 공부하는 게 되게 좋다고 생각해요. 그래서 추천해드릴게요. So I'll post the link to this website here in the chat if I can. My tech skills are pretty crap. Yeah. 근데 야한 말 많이 나오니까 조심하세요. 주로 아그니언트한테 쓰는 사람이 야한 거에 대해서 많이 불평하니까 그거 많이 있을 것 같아요. I think they're more happy if they divorce. They don't not expect each other anything further. Okay, yeah. So they would be happier if they divorced, and they shouldn't expect anything further from each other. Yeah, I think that's right. 이혼하는 게 맞는 것 같아요. Okay, here's the next one. The next letter. 다음 편지 살펴보겠습니다. My husband and I are 56 and I have one daughter who's 16. She's clever and popular and charming to everyone else but us. Okay, so 모든 사람한테 똑똑해 보이고 인기가 많고 매력적인데 우리한테 아니야. 우리한테 말고 모든 사람한테 그렇게 되게 좋게 행동하는 거예요. Everyone but us. So, 우리 말고 everything but. So this is like a kind of 영어 pattern, English pattern. So like everything or everyone but. How do I do this little squiggly symbol on this keyboard? Here we go. Everything but. Hi, Debermon. I'm trying to think of another example. Okay, so for example, yesterday I went surfing for the first time. 어제는 서핑 처음 해봤는데 I think I did everything but stand on the board. Like 모든 거 했는데 보드에 서 있는 거 대신 모든 게 했어요. 모든 거 했어요. That's probably really strange. 이거 한국어를 어떡하지? Do you understand what I'm saying? 뭐지? Basically, it just means like you didn't do something. So, for example, in the situation with surfing, I didn't stand on my surfboard at all. Not even for a second, right? So, 저 서프보드 위에 1초라도 서 있지 못했어요. So I did everything, 모든 걸 해봤는데 실제로 surfing 못했어요. Like I did everything but actually surf. 아까 그 톰이라는 친구가 영국 사람인데 부모님이 어느 나라 사람인가요? 베트남 사람이에요. 그 부모님은. Right. That's what I was trying to say. 보드 위에 서 있는 것만 빼고 다 했어요. Yeah, right. 빼고. Aha. Thank you, Sind Kim. So like 우리 빼고 모든 사람한테 인기가 많고 막 매력적이고 친절하고 우리한테 배고. Right, everything but. Thank you, Sind Kim. I was struggling for the correct translation. She was a delight when she was younger and never acted like a spoiled brat, but she's making up for it big time now. Okay, this is quite a complex sentence, I think. She was a delight when she was younger. Actually, I'm not really gonna do this. So, she was a delight. 엄청 좋았어. In fact, I don't think a lot of young people use delight. This is more of like, I think a lot of people, older people use delight. 저 어렸을 때는 엄청 좋았는데 she never acted like a spoiled brat. Spoiled brat. 그래서 이런 아이 있잖아요. 뭐 선물 많이 받고 부모님이 그 아이한테 모든 거 해주고 그런 것 때문에 완전 못된 것처럼 행동하는 거예요. 막 like I get everything, like I get so many presents, so 너무 고만하고 막 진짜 무례하고 사가지 없고. 왜냐면 완전 공주님이나 왕자님처럼 키웠어요. 살았어요. 어린이 시절 때. Okay, I've never learned the expression in Korean. So 곱게 자란 못된 아이, 애지중이, right? A spoiled brat. Stop being such a spoiled brat. It's quite a very extreme thing to say to a child, but yeah, stop being such a spoiled brat. Anyway, she never acted like a spoiled brat, but she's making up for it big time. So 어릴 때는 곱게 자란 못된 아이처럼 행동하지 않았고, 뭐 애지중지 같지 않았고, 근데 이제는 완전 그래요. So she's making up for it big time. To make up for something. If you make up for something, it means that if you hadn't done something before, you're doing it a lot now. Like, for example, let's say, for example, someone didn't used to drink alcohol. And they didn't know, no, this is a bad example. Making up for it big time. To make up for something. Okay, let's say, for example, someone didn't work ever and they just sort of sat at home, they didn't earn any money, and they were living like this maybe for 10 years. And then suddenly they decided to work really, really hard. Like, harder than other people. So they're making up for it. They're making up for the time that they didn't work. So like when they didn't work, they didn't earn any money, but now they're working really hard. They're earning way more money than they would have even if they worked just a little bit. So it's like, oh God, 이거 한국말로 어떡하지? To make up for something. Like, okay. 어떤 사람이 한 10년 동안 일하지 않고 근데 갑자기 나는 열심히 일할 거야 막 이렇게 한 거예요. 근데 보통 사람처럼 일하지 않고 완전 열심히 일하게 된 거예요. 그래서 약간 일하지 않았으니까 그때는 일하지 않았으니까 좀 더 열심히 일하기로 결정했어. So she's like it's kind of trying to match what she didn't do before by doing it in excess, by doing it a lot. Suddenly changed 좀 다른 거예요. Okay, here's a better explanation. Okay, I have an exam tomorrow. 내일 시험 있다. 시험 아니고 시험 있어요. 그런데 지금까지 공부하지 않았어요. 그래서 어떡하지? 나 내일 시험 있는데 진짜 열심히 공부해야 되는데 막 이런 생각하니까 보통보다 더 열심히 공부하게 된 거예요. 그래서 공부 안 하는 시간 다시 만들려고 하는 거예요. 막 왜냐면 보통보다 더 열심히 공부하려고 하니까. Oh, this is so hard. Do you understand what I'm doing? Kind of. It's not really a dramatic change or a sudden change. It's more of just like you're trying to repay. You're trying to compensate, we would say in English, but this is quite a high level word, to compensate for what you didn't do before. 약간 to make up for something. Oh god. 알겠어요? 어디서요? 안 하던 짓을 안 거예요. Okay, yeah, right. Kind of like that, yeah. 보충하려고? Maybe, I don't know what it is in Korean. So, yeah. It's like, oh my god, I haven't studied. 벼락치기 좀 달라요. 그거는 cramming. To cram. But, yeah, I mean, if you were making up for not studying before, then you would cram. Because you haven't studied at all, so you're trying to make up for the time. You're trying to. This is so hard to explain. So you're trying to kind of add time. We're not really adding time, but you're trying to add the amount of study into that time. You're trying to push the amount of study into that time. Oh dear. I feel like I've really lost this one. Yeah, right. That's right. 리치블 맞아요. 그동안 안 해왔던 걸 만회하려고 더 열심히 한다는 뜻 같아요. Yeah, that's right. I think that sounds right to me. To make up for something. Maybe someone has never traveled in their life. And then they realize that actually traveling is quite fun. So they're trying to make up for the time that they didn't travel before by doing all the traveling they could have done in 10 years into like 1 month, 2 months. Right, so 어떤 사람은 여행 아예 못했고 갑자기 뭐 여행 한번 해보고 이거 좀 재밌네 막 생각해서 뭐 한 달 동안 10년 동안 보통 사람이 10년 동안 하는 여행을 한 달 아니면 2달 동안 하게 된 거예요. Like, to make up for something. 나는 이 경험을 못 얻어서 좀 아쉽다. 그래서 꼭 해야 되겠다. 해서 they make up for the lost time. Okay, I'm gonna move on from this now. Hopefully you kind of understand it. If you think you understand it, try and make an example sentence and I'll see if it's right. 그래서 to make up for something 이해하시면 좀 예문 한번 만들어 보세요. 제가 설명해 주는 게 이해하는지 못하는지 궁금해요. 이해하는지 못하는지 궁금해요. Okay, so right, moving on. She's rude, obnoxious, and angry with us all the time. So 얘는 무례하고 obnoxious. 약간 못된 거예요. 그리고 항상 하는 거예요. We can't have a civil conversation these days without ending in an argument where she storms off, slams doors, and chucks things around. So yeah, there's lots of conversational language coming out of here. 되게 일상 대화에서 많이 사용하는 표현 많이 나온 거예요, 이 문장에서. Civil conversation, 그냥 예의 바른 대화. These days, so we can't have a civil conversation these days. 요즘에는 예의 바른 대화 못하고 without it ending in an argument. Okay, so 싸움으로 이어지는 대화로 아니 싸움으로 이어지지 않은 대화를 못하는 거예요. 예의 바른 대화를 못하는 거예요. 그래서 좀 더 간단하게 말하면 우리는 대화할 때마다 항상 싸움으로 말다툼으로 이어지는 거예요. It's always ending in an argument. To end in an argument. 말다툼으로 이어지다. Okay, yeah. I think that's good. That's a good example. I didn't eat anything yesterday, so so if I correct this sentence, you're on the right track though. That's what it means. So I didn't eat anything yesterday. So I'm gonna make up for it by eating a ton of food today. I have loads of food today. Like this. But yeah, that's good. Nice example. So ending an argument where she storms off. Storms off. To storm off means you're angrily leaving the room. 화나게 방을 나가는 거예요. 아니면 화나게 그냥 떠나는 거예요. So when I was younger, maybe when I had an argument with my mum, I might storm off to my room. I storm off. 화나게 떠나는 거예요. 화나게 나가는 거예요. Slams doors. 시끄럽게 문을 닫는 거예요. And chucks things around. Chuck means to throw. 던지다. 그래서 자기 그냥 things 그 집에 있는 거 많이 던지고 그래요. And the way that chucks and throw is different. Chucks is more of an informal word, and it has the kind of connotation of meaning. It has the nuance of meaning like without thought, without thinking. 그래서 생각 없이 던지다. 막 나는 여기서 aim하고 막 겨냥하고 던지면 that's like to throw, but like if you don't think, if it's like thoughtless, 생각 없이 던지다, to chuck. Anyway, my husband and I are walking on eggshells around her. Again, this is a really nice idiom. 되게 좋은 관용어예요. 영국에서 많이 쓰고. 그래서 어떤 사람이 너무 예민하거나 쉽게 화나게 되면 되게 조심해야 되죠. 그래서 you walk on eggshells. 계란 껍질 걷고 있다. 그거 그거 사전적인 뜻인데. So like when you walk on eggshells, you've got to be really careful not to break them. And that's how it is when you are talking to someone who's very sensitive, right? You're like walking on eggshells. You don't want to anger them. 그래서 계란 껍질에 걸면 되게 조심하게 걸어야 되죠. 왜냐하면 깨지 조심하게 걸어야 돼요. 그래서 예민한 사람한테 아니 그냥 예민한 사람이랑 같이 있으면 그렇게 조심해야 돼요. 그런 말이에요. Okay, that was far easier to explain, I think. She's always had everything she's wanted as she's an only child. 외동딸, only child, 외동딸, or 외동아들, I guess. I've heard 외동딸 많이. I've heard 외동딸 a lot of times, but I don't think I've ever heard 외동아들, so maybe that's incorrect, I don't know. So yeah, only child. 외동달, she's always had everything she's wanted as she's an only child. So 외동달이라서 원하는 것 다 받았어요. So she is really spoiled. She's really spoiled, in my opinion. Sounds like it anyway. So this is like an adjective. 형용사. 어떤 아이가 모든 거 받으면 spoiled이라고 해요. You can spoil your child. Like her parents spoil her. Whoops. Spoil her. 부모님은 아이한테 너무 잘해줘. We had her at 40 after years of trying to conceive without success. She was our miracle baby. 그래서 40살에 이 아이를 낳고 trying to conceive. To conceive is like to make a baby. 아이를 만들다. You know, through that process. Without success. 성공 없이. 그런데 결국에는 아이를 낳았어요. 그래서 miracle baby라고 하는 거죠. Miracle? I can't remember what that is in Korean. 기적이다? I don't know. She seems to be going through puberty, yeah, I think so. I sometimes wonder if the fact we're a bit older than most of her friends' parents has got something to do with it, although we're not stuck in our ways and are young at heart. So I will sometimes wonder, yeah, so 우리는 다른 부모님보다 나이 많아서 그런지 나이 많아서 그렇게 행동하는지 모르겠는데 뭐 그래서 그런 거에 관할 수도 있다고 하는 거예요. Although we're not stuck in our ways and are young at heart. So to be stuck in your ways, 고집세다, stubborn, 고집세다. So I think a lot of older people are stuck in their ways. They do things that they've always done before and they don't really change, right? Some older people. Okay, and are young at heart, right? So 나이 많은데 좀 더 젊다고 느껴요. Her latest thing is threatening us with leaving home as soon as she's able to because she can't stand being here, even though she never explains why, other than to say we don't understand her and we don't listen to her. Okay, so her latest thing, 요즘에 하는 행동은, is threatening us with leaving home as soon as she's able to because she can't stand being here. So I can't stand, to not stand something means you hate something, right? So if she can't stand being here, it means she hates being here. 여기 있기 싫다, right? So 뭐뭐뭐 싫다, I can't stand doing, I can't stand being. 그래서 I can't stand 이라는 표현 사용하면 그 동사에 꼭 ing 붙여야 돼요. So like I can't stand. Oh, whoops. I can't stand. What can't I stand? I can't stand people who say or who use literally. Yeah. Whoops. Too often. Yeah. What can't you stand? Even though she never... Oh yeah, so her latest thing is threatening us with leaving home, so 집을 떠날 거라고 많이 위협하고. Oh no, sorry. She's threatening us for leaving home as soon as she's able to. 그래서 떠날 수 있자마자 집을 떠날 수 있자마자 떠날 거라고 많이 위협하고. 왜냐면 집에 있기 싫다. 집에 있기 싫다고 하는 거예요. Even though she never explains why, other than to say we don't understand, we don't listen to her. 그래서 왠지 설명해주지 않고 그냥 막 부모님이 자기를 이해 못하고 듣지 달 하는 말을 듣지 않고 한 거예요. It's frustrating and infuriating, especially at the moment when we have no choice but to be together all the time. So it's frustrating, 답답하다. She said 답답해. It's frustrating and infuriating. 짜증나. Like really, really annoying. Like 정말 짜증나. Infuriating. My mum often uses this word about me sometimes. Sometimes when she uses it a lot about me. George, you're infuriating. I'm finding your behaviour rather infuriating when I'm at home anyway. 짜증나, 정말 짜증나. Especially at the moment when we have no choice but to be together all the time. 그래서 답답하고 정말 짜증나요. 특히 요즘에는. 왜냐면 우리가 같이 있어야 되니까. We have no choice. What's the best? 있을 수밖에 없다. We have no choice but to be together all the time. 같이 있을 수밖에 없다. 항상 같이 있을 수밖에 없다. So yeah, this is another little pattern that you can use. You have no choice but to do something, right? So I have no choice but to I don't know. My mind's gone blank. I don't know. I have no choice but to do something. Anyway. Have you any advice on how we can reason with her and make things easier at home? I think am I in the way of this? Oh no, I think I'm alright. So yeah, have you any advice on how we can reason with her and make things easier at home? To reason with someone is like to rationalize. What's a simpler way of explaining this? To reason with someone. 어떤 사람한테 막 약간 타협하다? I think it's almost a bit like compromising with someone. 타협하다. 우리가 이달이랑 어떻게 타협할 수 있는지, 어떻게 우리 상황을 설명해 줄 수 있는지. I think that's probably better actually. 타협 말고 우리 상황을 설명해 주는데 어떻게 우리 상황을 설명해 줄 수 있는지. How can we explain our situation? How can we explain 우리 시점, our perspective? 어떻게 우리 시점이 뭔지 설명 어떻게 하는지, 어떻게 해주는지 모르니까. Do you have any advice on how to do it? Yes. Right. That's because you create a Facebook out of principle. Yeah, that's right. So she was particularly infuriated with me at that time. Oh, I just realised that you couldn't see what I wrote here because I'm in the way. I should probably move that there. But yeah, okay, so that's the last agony aunt post that we're going to look at today. If you want to, you can practice your English by responding to this letter. 그래서 뭐 영어 연습하고 싶으면 이 편지를 읽고 뭐이 사람이 어떻게 해야 되는지 대답할 수 있죠. 영어로. 그래서 그렇게 영어 연습할 수 있어요. 다음 시간에는 우리가 대본, 영어 대본 보면서 이런 식으로 그 대본에서 나오는 표현 살펴보고 어떻게 사용하는지 알아볼 거예요. 아니면 그거 대신 뭐 하고 싶은 거 있으면 댓글 좀 남겨주세요. 네, 저 아마 3분 뒤에 이 수업 끝날 거예요. 그래서 질문 있거나 그냥 뭐 하는 말이 있으면 좀 댓글 남겨주세요. I would write the Korean expressions on the page, but for some reason the application that I'm using doesn't really let me use Korean. 왠지 잘 모르겠는데 제가 이 애플리케이션에서 한글 쓰려고 하면 좀 이상하게 나와요. 왠지 잘 모르겠지만 그래서 이것 대신 다른 애플리케이션 사야 되겠다. Okay, I don't think there are any questions. So in that case, I think I will finish here. 여기까지 하고 we'll call it a day, as you might have learned if you watched the lesson before. 여기까지 하고 목요일에 다시 할 거예요. So goodbye everybody. Bye bye, and see you next time. Bye bye.